Millionaire CEO walked into a cafe and heard a little boy calling his ex, Mom. Hi, my beautiful family. Welcome back to Mr. Peter's Stories, your own family story channel. Heavenly God, I place every woman into your sacred hands. Cover her with strength when she feels tired, with hope when her heart feels heavy, and with peace when the world is too loud. Honor her sacrifices, heal her silent wounds, and reward her patience with joy. She carries families, love, and dreams on her shoulders. Give her rest, protection, and unbreakable dignity. Lord, I lift Binta to you right now. As she goes through her nose surgery, let your healing power flow through her body. Guide the doctor's hands, calm her heart, remove all fear, and grant her a smooth, perfect recovery. May pain never overpower her, and may she rise healthier, stronger, and surrounded by your mercy. Bless this family that gathers here with me. Keep us united in love, protected in health, and rich in faith. Let no darkness touch our homes, and let your light remain with us always. If your heart is true, like the video. If your love is real, write, I am with Mr. Peter. The cafe smelled like expensive coffee and broken dreams. Max Holden pushed through the glass door, his $1,000 shoes silent against imported tile. He'd stopped here 100 times before, always in a rush, always distracted by the next deal. Today, he wanted something simple, just coffee, just a moment of normalcy before the chaos of mergers and board meetings consumed him. Then he heard it, a child's voice, bright and clear, cutting through the ambient noise. Mum, can I have the chocolate muffin, please? Max's hand froze on his phone. That word. Mum. Something about it stopped his breath. He turned. The woman stood near the pastry display, her back to him. Dark hair pulled into a sleek ponytail, designer jacket fitted perfectly across shoulders he'd once traced with his fingers in the dark. She bent down to the little boy beside her, and Max saw her profile. Jordan Shaw. His heart stopped beating, actually stopped. The little boy tugged her sleeve. He had to be around 5, maybe 6. Caramel skin, bright eyes, a smile that could light up rooms. He wore a tiny button-down shirt and looked like he'd just stepped out of a catalogue, but it wasn't just the boy that destroyed Max. It was the man standing with them, tall, confident, his hand resting casually on Jordan's lower back. He leaned down and kissed her temple, laughing at something the boy said. The gesture was familiar, intimate, natural, like he'd done it 1,000 times before, like he belonged there. The little boy looked up at the man. Dad, can we get one for you too? Dad. That single word detonated in Max's chest like a grenade. He stood frozen in the middle of the cafe, people flowing around him like water around a stone. His mouth went dry. His vision narrowed to that perfect tableau. Jordan, the boy, the man who wasn't him. Jordan hadn't seen him yet. She was laughing at something the boy said, her whole face alive with joy Max remembered from another lifetime. The man paid for their order, his other hand now intertwined with Jordan's fingers. Max saw the ring. Diamond. Tasteful. Expensive. Engagement ring. His legs moved before his brain gave permission. He crossed the cafe floor, weaving between tables, ignoring the barista calling his name for his forgotten order. Jordan. His voice came out strangled, barely recognizable. She turned. Her smile died instantly. The warmth in her eyes iced over so fast, Max felt the temperature drop. For 3 seconds they stared at each other. In those seconds, Max saw everything. Recognition, shock, then something worse than anger. Nothing. Her face went completely blank, like she was looking at a stranger who'd bumped into her on the subway. The man noticed the exchange. His posture shifted, protective. You know this guy? Jordan's voice came out flat, emotionless. No one important. She took the boy's hand, the bag of pastries in her other, and turned away. Just like that. Dismissed. Erased. Max's hand shot out, catching her elbow. Jordan, please, The man stepped between them with surprising speed. His voice stayed calm, but his eyes promised violence. Touch her again and we're going to have a serious problem. Max's hand dropped. He looked past the man to Jordan, who was already moving toward the exit. The little boy glanced back, curious, but Jordan kept walking. Max stood there as they disappeared through the glass doors. Through the window, he watched them climb into a sleek SUV. Watched the man buckle the boy into a car seat with practiced ease. Watched Jordan lean over and kiss the man before they pulled away. The barista called his name again. Max didn't hear it. He walked out of the cafe into the sharp autumn air. His hand shook as he pulled out his phone. His fingers moved on autopilot, typing her name into the search bar. The results loaded. First hit, society page from a major magazine. The photograph made his knees weak. Jordan in an emerald dress, radiant, standing beside the man from the cafe. The caption read, "Creative director Jordan Shaw announces engagement to architect Terence Wright. The couple celebrated with intimate gathering of friends and family." The article was dated 2 months ago. Max scrolled frantically, finding more. Pictures of Jordan at gallery openings, charity events, always with Terence beside her. Pictures of the three of them, Jordan, Terence, and the boy. One caption mentioned, Wright expressed excitement about officially adopting Shaw's son Sears after their upcoming wedding. Sears. His son had a name. His son had a father. And it wasn't him. Max's phone slipped from his fingers, clattering on the sidewalk. He bent to retrieve it with hands that wouldn't stop shaking. People streamed past him on the busy street, everyone rushing somewhere important, and Max stood there with his entire world collapsing inward. His phone buzzed. Dorothy, his fiancée, calling to remind him about their cake-tasting appointment. Max stared at her name on the screen until the call went to voicemail. He thought about Jordan's face, that cold, empty look, like he didn't exist, like he'd never existed. He thought about the boy, Sears, calling another man dad with such easy affection. He thought about how he'd never known Jordan was pregnant, how he'd moved to London without looking back, how his mother had said Jordan was seeing someone else, and he'd believed it. Max walked to his car in a daze, climbed in, sat in the leather seat that probably cost more than Jordan's first month of rent back when they'd been together. His reflection stared back from the rearview mirror. Perfectly groomed hair, expensive suit, successful CEO who had everything he'd ever wanted, except the only thing that had ever mattered. He pulled up the photo again. Jordan, Terence, Sears, a family, complete, happy, functioning perfectly without the gaping wound Max had just discovered in his own chest. His phone buzzed again. Dorothy, then his assistant, then his mother. Max silenced them all. He sat in that parking spot as the sun moved across the sky, as the cafe filled and emptied, as the world continued turning without him. He sat there and stared at that photograph until he'd memorized every detail. The way Sears smiled, the protective curve of Terence's arm around Jordan's shoulders, the peace in Jordan's eyes. She'd moved on. She'd built a life. She'd replaced him. Completely. When Max finally started the car, his hands had stopped shaking. Something else had taken over, something cold and certain. He drove to his penthouse in silence. Dorothy was there, waiting, dressed for their appointment. She took one look at his face, and her smile faltered. "Max? What happened?" He walked past her to the bar, poured whiskey he didn't taste. Dorothy followed, her heels clicking on marble. "Max, you're scaring me. Talk to me." He downed the drink, poured another. "I saw someone today," he said. His voice sounded strange, disconnected. "Someone from before." Dorothy's face tightened. She knew about Jordan. Everyone in his circle knew about the college girlfriend he'd left behind when he'd leveled up to his current life. "Okay," Dorothy said carefully. "And?" "She has a son." Dorothy waited. "He's mine." The glass in Dorothy's hand slipped, shattering against the floor. Neither of them moved to clean it up. "What?" Max laughed, the sound bitter and broken. "She's engaged. The kid calls another man dad. They're getting married. He's adopting my son." "Max, how do you even know?" "I know." He turned to face her, and whatever she saw in his eyes made her step back. "I know." Dorothy's mouth opened, closed. Her carefully constructed future was crumbling, and Max could see her trying to grab the pieces. "We should postpone the wedding," she said finally. "You need time to process this." Max looked at her, really looked at her. Beautiful, appropriate, perfect on paper. Everything his mother had wanted for him. Nothing he actually needed. "There's not going to be a wedding," he said. Dorothy's face went white. "What? I can't marry you." "Max, you're in shock. You're not thinking." "I'm thinking clearly for the first time in years." He set down his glass. "I'm sorry. You deserve better than this. Better than me. You're ending our engagement because of some woman from college. Some kid who might not even be yours. He's mine. You can't possibly—" "Dorothy." His voice cut through her panic. "I know. The same way I know I never should have proposed to you. The same way I know this life I've built is empty. I know." She stared at him, tears spilling down her cheeks. "I love you." "No," Max said quietly. "You love what I represent." "But I'm not that person anymore. Maybe I never was." Dorothy grabbed her purse, her hands shaking. At the door, she turned back. "You're making a mistake. That woman clearly doesn't want you. You're throwing away everything for nothing." She slammed the door. Max stood alone in his penthouse, surrounded by expensive furniture and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city he'd conquered, and he'd never felt more like he'd lost. Chapter 2. The First Blood. Max didn't sleep. He sat on his balcony as the city lights blurred below, whiskey burning through him until dawn broke grey and cold. His phone filled with messages he didn't read. Dorothy's lawyer, his mother, his assistant asking about cancelled meetings. None of it mattered. When morning came properly, he showered, dressed in his sharpest suit, and did what desperate men do. He found Jordan's office. Sterling Media occupied 15 floors of a glass tower in Midtown. Max knew the building. He'd almost acquired it 2 years ago. The irony wasn't lost on him that Jordan worked in a place he'd once tried to own. He walked through the lobby like he belonged there, confidence his only credential. The security guard glanced at his expensive suit and waved him through. Max took the elevator to the 12th floor, where his research said Jordan's office was located. The receptionist looked up, smiling automatically. "Can I help you?" "I'm here to see Jordan Shaw." "Do you have an appointment?" "No." The smile dimmed. "I'm sorry, but Ms. Shaw doesn't take walk-ins. If you'd like to schedule, tell her Max Holden is here." The receptionist's eyes widened slightly. Everyone knew the Holden name. She picked up her phone, spoke quietly. Her expression shifted from professional to uncomfortable. "I'm sorry, Mr. Holden, but Ms. Shaw says she's not available." "I'll wait." "Sir, she was very clear. I'll wait all day if I have to." The receptionist looked trapped. She made another call. This time, security arrived. 2 men in uniforms that didn't quite hide their military builds. "Mr. Holden, we need you to leave." Max didn't move. "I just need 5 minutes." "Sir, if you don't leave voluntarily, we'll have to escort you." Max looked past them down the hallway, hoping to see her, hoping she'd change her mind. The hallway stayed empty. He left, but he didn't go home. He went to his car in the parking garage and waited. 6 hours he sat there, ignoring calls, watching the elevator banks through the glass walls. Employees came and went. The sun tracked across the sky. At 6 in the evening, he saw her. Jordan emerged from the elevator, briefcase in one hand, phone in the other. She wore a burgundy suit that fit like it was made for her, probably was. She walked with purpose, heels clicking, completely unaware of him. Max got out of his car. She must have sensed movement because she looked up. When she saw him, she didn't freeze. She didn't run. She stopped walking and laughed. Actually laughed. The sound echoed in the concrete garage, bitter and sharp. "You really think you matter?" She walked toward him, no fear in her stride. "You really think showing up like some stalker is going to change anything?" Jordan, please. I just need to talk to you. About what? She stopped 3 feet away, close enough that he could smell her perfume. Different than before. Everything about her was different. About how you walked out of my life without a word, about how you blocked my number, about how you had your mother's lawyers contact me. What? Don't play stupid, it doesn't suit you. I don't know what you're talking about. My mother's lawyers. Jordan's laugh died. Something dangerous crossed her face. You really don't know. She reached into her briefcase, pulled out a folder, threw it at his chest. Papers scattered across the concrete. Pick them up, she said. Read them. Max knelt, gathering pages with shaking hands, legal documents, dense text he tried to focus on. Then he saw it, termination of parental rights, his signature at the bottom. What is this? You signed away your rights to Sears when he was 6 months old. Jordan's voice was cold as death. Your mother's lawyers contacted me, said you wanted nothing to do with us, offered me $200,000 to make us disappear. That's not possible. I never... Your signature is right there. Max stared at the document. That was his signature. He recognized the sloppy way he signed his name when he wasn't paying attention, when his mother put a stack of papers in front of him during that horrible year in London, telling him to sign, sign, sign. I didn't know, he whispered. I swear to God I didn't know what I was signing. You didn't care enough to read it. Jordan, please. That's my son. She stepped closer, her voice dropping to something lethal. You signed away your rights. Legally, Sears isn't yours. Terence is adopting him next month. You're being erased. Permanently. The words hit like bullets. You can't. I can. I did. It's done. She bent down, gathering the papers. Don't come to my office again. Don't wait in parking garages. Don't call. Don't write. You don't exist to us. She turned away. He's my son. Max's voice cracked, echoing off concrete walls. Jordan looked back over her shoulder. No, he's mine. Only mine. You made sure of that when you signed those papers, when you chose your career over me, when you believed your mother's lies instead of fighting for us. I didn't know you were pregnant. Because you didn't answer my calls, because you blocked me, because you were too busy building your empire to remember the girl you left behind. Her control finally fractured. I tried to tell you. For 3 months I tried, and you made it very clear you didn't want to hear it. My mother said you were seeing someone else. And you believed her. Didn't even ask me, just believed her and disappeared. Jordan's eyes shimmered, but no tears fell. That's who you are, Max. A man who believes what's convenient, who signs what's put in front of him, who walks away when things get complicated. I'm not that person anymore. You're exactly that person, and you have no right to Sears, no legal right, no moral right, no right at all. She walked away. This time, Max didn't follow. He stood in that parking garage holding papers that proved he'd destroyed his own life without even knowing it. His phone rang. His mother. Max answered. Where have you been? Vivian Holden's voice was sharp. Your assistant said you cancelled everything today. Dorothy's lawyer called me. What's going on? You had me sign papers terminating my parental rights. Silence. You had no right. I had every right. I'm your mother. You destroyed my life. I saved you from a mistake. Her voice turned cold. That girl was beneath you. She would have dragged you down. I gave her money. She took it happily. That tells you everything you need to know about her. Max felt something break inside him. Something fundamental. You're a monster. I'm a mother protecting her son. You're a monster and I'm done. With you, with this family, with everything. He hung up. His mother called back immediately. He blocked the number. Then he drove to Holden Industries, walked into the boardroom where an emergency meeting had been convened about his absence, and quit. Just quit. His board stared in shock as he removed his security badge, placed it on the table, and walked out. By the time he reached his car, His phone exploded. His board, his lawyers, his mother calling from a different number. Max sat in his car and watched his entire life detonate in real time. Dorothy's family sued him for breach of contract. The board voted to remove him from all positions, citing instability. His mother filed a restraining order, claiming he'd been violent toward her. He hadn't touched her, but she had witnesses. Money bought anything. By the end of the week, Max Holden had lost his company, his fiancée, his family, and his reputation, and Jordan Shaw still wouldn't take his calls. Chapter 3. The Descent. The eviction notice came on a Tuesday. Max stared at the paper taped to his penthouse door. Legal jargon that boiled down to, "You have 30 days to get out." Dorothy's father owned the building. Of course he did. Max had never bothered to check. He'd stopped checking anything. Inside, the penthouse looked like a crime scene. Empty bottles, takeout containers, unopened mail piled on every surface. The cleaning service had stopped coming after he'd screamed at them to leave him alone. How long had it been? 3 weeks? 4? Time moved strangely now. Max caught his reflection in the darkened windows. A stranger looked back, beard growing wild, hair unwashed. The expensive suit hung on a frame that had lost considerable weight. His phone buzzed. Another lawyer. He'd stopped answering days ago. The lawsuit from Dorothy's family was proceeding. They wanted everything. Breach of promise, emotional damages, public humiliation. Their lawyers were vicious, and Max had no defense. He'd ended the engagement. The prenup he'd signed included severe penalties. His own lawyers had abandoned him after he'd stopped paying them. Money. That was the thing about money. It disappeared faster than it arrived. His mother had frozen his trust fund. The board had seized his stock options. Dorothy's lawsuit had tied up his remaining assets. The penthouse, the cars, the vacation home in the Hamptons, all owned through corporate structures his mother controlled. In 6 weeks, Max Holden went from billionaire CEO to broke. He should have felt something about that. Panic, fear, anger. He felt nothing except the constant ache in his chest when he thought about Sears, about the boy who didn't know him, who called another man Dad. Max pulled out his phone, opened the photo he'd saved, Jordan's engagement announcement. He studied Sears's face, tried to find himself in those features. The eyes, definitely the eyes, the shape of his chin, the way he smiled, slightly crooked. Max's son, his son. He put the phone down before he threw it through the window. The next morning, Max packed what fit in a duffel bag, left the rest, walked out of the penthouse and didn't look back. He had enough cash for first month's rent on a studio apartment in Queens. The place was smaller than his old closet. Water-stained ceiling, radiator that clanged all night, thin walls that broadcast every neighbor's argument. It was all he could afford. Max lay on the mattress on the floor and stared at the ceiling. Thought about Jordan, living in her brownstone in Brooklyn. Thought about Sears in a bedroom filled with toys and books and love. Thought about how he'd destroyed everything that mattered. His phone rang. Unknown number. He answered without thinking. "Mr. Holden, this is Summit Construction. We received your application." Application, right. Max had applied to every construction company in the city. The only work he was qualified for now that his reputation was destroyed. "We need laborers. Can you start Monday?" "Yes." 6 a.m. sharp. Bring steel-toed boots and gloves. The job paid $17 an hour. Max had once made that much every 3 seconds. He started Monday. The work was brutal. Hauling materials, digging, loading trucks. His hands blistered. His back screamed. The other workers sensed something off about him, but couldn't place what, until someone recognized him. "Holy shit," one of the guys said during lunch break. "You're that Holden CEO. I saw you in the news." The crew went quiet. "Yo, what are you doing here?" Max ate his sandwich, didn't answer. "Man got dumped by his fiancée," someone else said. "Lost everything. It was all over social media." "Damn, from billionaire to this?" They laughed. Not cruelly, exactly. just the way men laugh when they see someone fall from a height they'll never reach. Max took it, went back to work. That evening, exhausted and filthy, he walked home through neighborhoods that used to terrify him. Now he belonged here. Another broken man in a city full of them. He passed Sears's school without planning to. Just happened to be walking that direction. Just happened to arrive at dismissal time. The playground filled with children and parents. Max stood across the street, partially hidden by a tree. Told himself he'd leave after one glimpse. Then he saw Terence. The man walked with easy confidence, other parents greeting him warmly. He knew everyone. Belonged here. When Sears ran out of the building, Terence scooped him up, spun him around. Sears's laughter carried across the street. Max's chest cracked open. He watched them walk to Terence's car, watched Sears chatter excitedly about his day, watched Terence listen with genuine interest, asking questions, laughing at responses, watched everything he'd lost play out in front of him. A teacher noticed Max, frowned, looked at her phone, then back at him. Max realized how he must look, unshaven, dirty, lurking near a school. The teacher spoke to another parent. That parent pulled out a phone. Max walked away quickly, heard someone call out behind him, walked faster. He made it 2 blocks before police cars appeared. "Sir, we need you to stop." Max stopped. They asked for ID, asked what he was doing near the school, asked if he had children there. "No," Max said, which was technically true. "We got a call about a suspicious person. You match the description." "I was just walking." With a direct view of the playground for 20 minutes. One officer recognized his name from the ID, looked him up on his phone. His expression changed. "You're that guy, the CEO who went crazy." They took him to the station. Not arrested exactly, detained for questioning. In the holding area, Max sat on a metal bench and put his head in his hands. This was his life now. This was what he'd become. Rock bottom had a basement. They released him after 2 hours with a warning. Stay away from the school. Stay away from children's areas. One more complaint and they'd file charges. Max walked out into the night. His phone rang. Unknown number again. He almost didn't answer. "Mr. Holden," a woman's voice. Familiar, but he couldn't place it. "Who is this?" "It's Carmen, from Jordan's office." Max's heart stopped. "How did you get this number?" "Jordan asked me to call. She posted your bail." "What?" "You were detained. She was notified as Sears's parent. She posted bail and cleared the situation with the school." Max couldn't speak. "She wanted me to tell you something. Are you ready?" "Yes." She said, "I wanted you to know that Terence is taking Sears to Florida this weekend. Father-son trip. They're going to Disney. Sears is so excited. He's going to officially start calling Terence Dad when they get back. Just thought you should know before you disappear completely." The line went dead. Max stood on the sidewalk outside the police station. People streamed past, everyone with somewhere to go, somewhere to be. He had nothing, no one. Jordan had bailed him out just to twist the knife, to make sure he knew exactly what he was losing, and it was working. Max walked, didn't know where. Just walked through the city until his feet bled in his cheap boots. Walked until the sun came up and he found himself on a bridge, looking down at water that promised an end to the pain. His phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. He almost deleted it. Then he opened it. A photograph. Sears at the airport, wearing a Disney shirt, holding Terence's hand, grinning with pure joy. No message, just the photo. Max's legs gave out. He sat on the bridge walkway back against the railing and finally let himself break completely. He cried until he had nothing left. Then his phone rang again. He answered without looking. "Mr. Holden, this is Dr. Reeves from Mercy Hospital. You're listed as emergency contact for Vivian Holden. She's had a stroke. You need to come immediately." Max hung up, sat there as the sun climbed higher. His mother was dying and he felt nothing, absolutely nothing. Chapter 4. The deal. The pills sat in a neat line on Max's counter. He'd bought them from 3 different pharmacies so no one would notice. Sleep aids, pain medication, enough to stop the constant screaming in his head. The bottle of whiskey sat beside them. Max stared at his options. This, or keep living in this hell. This, or watch Jordan's life continue without him. This, or spend the rest of his existence as the cautionary tale people whispered about. The man who had everything and lost it all. His neighbor, Mrs. Chen, an elderly woman who lived next door, knocked on his door. Max didn't answer. She knocked again. "Mr. Max, you okay in there?" He stayed silent. She kept knocking. "I hear you moving around. I just worry. You remind me of my son before he—" She trailed off. Before he what? Max wondered distantly. The knocking continued, persistent, annoying. Max opened the door. "What?" Mrs. Chen looked tiny in the hallway. She held a container of food. "You look terrible. When you eat last?" "I'm fine." "You not fine. You look like ghost. Here, soup." She pushed past him into the apartment, saw the pills, the bottle. Her face changed. "Oh no, 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 no." She grabbed the pills, poured them down the sink, before Max could react. "No, I lose my son this way, not lose you too. You don't even know me. I know sad. I know broken. I know look in eyes of person who done with world." She gripped his arm with surprising strength. "You don't get to be done. Not tonight. You can't." She pulled out her phone, dialed. "What are you doing?" "Calling ambulance. You need help, real help." Max could have stopped her, could have taken the phone, could have walked away. He didn't. The paramedics arrived. Mrs. Chen explained. They saw the evidence, asked Max questions he couldn't answer coherently. They took him to the hospital. 72-hour psychiatric hold. Max sat in the intake room and felt nothing. Not embarrassment, not anger, just the same vast emptiness that had been growing since that day in the cafe. The psychiatrist was a tired-looking woman in her 50s. She read his chart without expression. "Mr. Holden, you were brought in on suicide watch. Do you want to hurt yourself?" "No." "Your neighbor found pills and alcohol. What was your intention?" Max didn't answer. "I can't help you if you don't talk to me." "I don't want help." "What do you want?" The question hung there. What did he want? "I want my son to know me," Max said finally. "I want the woman I love to look at me without hatred. I want to undo every stupid decision I've made. I want to be someone different." "And when you can't have those things?" "Then I don't want to be here." She made notes. "You'll stay the full 72 hours. We'll reassess then." They put him in a room with another man who rocked constantly, muttering to himself. The first night, Max lay on the thin mattress and stared at the ceiling. Group therapy happened in the morning. Circle of broken people in a fluorescent room. Max sat silently as others shared. Drug addiction, abuse, loss, mental illness, every flavor of suffering humanity could create. The therapist turned to him. "Would you like to share?" "No." "What brought you here?" "A nosy neighbor." Someone laughed. Dark humor appreciated in dark places. "What made her worried enough to call?" Max looked around the circle, saw judgment forming. These people would recognize him eventually, the CEO who fell. They'd mock him, tell him he had no right to complain when he'd had everything. "I lost my son," he said instead. "Never met him. Didn't know he existed until recently. His mother hates me. Another man is adopting him. Legally, I don't exist to him." The room went quiet. An older man across the circle spoke. His voice was rough, used. "What would you do to get your kid back?" "Anything. Anything. Anything." The man nodded slowly. "Then you ain't ready to die yet. Person ready to die don't say anything. They say nothing matters. You still got something to fight for." Max wanted to argue, wanted to explain how impossible it all was, but the man was right. If there was even the smallest chance, he'd take it. The 3 days passed slowly. Max attended every session, talked when required, took the medications they gave him, played the game. On day 3, they deemed him stable enough to release with outpatient requirements. He walked back to his apartment expecting nothing. There was an envelope taped to his door, plain, no return address. Inside, a single sheet of paper, Jordan's handwriting. You want a chance to know Sears? Earn it. These are my terms. 1. You work for my company. Mailroom, minimum wage. 2. Every Friday you submit a written report on humility. 3. You see Sears only when I allow. For as long as I allow, no negotiation. 4. Terence is Sears' father. You are a visitor. Accept this or disappear. You have 24 hours to decide. Show up Monday at 8 a.m. or never contact us again. Jordan Shaw. Max read it 3 times. She was offering him something. Not forgiveness, not a relationship, just the smallest crack in the door, work in a mailroom, minimum wage, public humiliation, complete submission to her rules, for the chance to see his son for maybe an hour, maybe less, whenever she decided, while another man raised him. Max looked around his apartment, at the life he'd destroyed, at the man he'd become. He had nothing left to lose. Monday morning, Max stood outside Sterling Media at 7:45. He wore the only clean clothes he owned, jeans, a plain shirt, nothing expensive left. At 8 exactly, he walked into the lobby. The receptionist looked up. Recognition flashed across her face. Mr. Holden, I'm here to start in the mailroom. Her eyebrows rose. Oh, let me call down. A supervisor appeared, a woman in her 30s who looked him over with undisguised curiosity. You're the new hire? Yes. Follow me. She led him to the basement. The mailroom was exactly what he expected. Concrete floors, metal shelves, the smell of cardboard and ink. You'll sort incoming mail, deliver to departments, handle packages. Start time is 8, end time is 5, 30-minute lunch. Questions? No. Your uniform. She handed him a polo shirt with the company logo. Bathroom's there. Change and get started. Max changed in the dingy bathroom, looked at himself in the mirror. The uniform was too big. He looked ridiculous. He thought about walking out. Then he thought about Sears. He walked back out and started sorting mail. By 10 a.m., word had spread. Employees found excuses to come to the mailroom, to see the fallen CEO sorting envelopes. Some were subtle about it. Others openly stared. By lunch, photos appeared on social media. Billionaire Max Holden now works in mailroom. The comments were predictable, mocking, cruel, gleeful. Max kept working. At 3 p.m., he had his first delivery to the 12th floor, Jordan's floor. He stepped off the elevator and every head turned. Whispers followed him as he dropped packages at the front desk. Then he saw her. Jordan stood outside her office talking to a colleague. She wore a black suit that probably cost more than Max made in a month now. She looked powerful, confident, untouchable. Their eyes met. Max waited for something. Acknowledgement, satisfaction, anything. Jordan's expression didn't change. She looked through him like he was invisible, then turned back to her conversation. Max delivered his packages and left. That night, he started his first written report. What I learned about humility today, that I deserve every bit of this, that I spent my whole life thinking I was better than people who did honest work, that I was wrong about everything, that watching Jordan succeed while I deliver her mail is exactly what I earned. He left it on her desk before leaving. The next morning there was a note on his locker. Acceptable, keep going, J. Max kept going. Chapter 5. The Humbling. 2 months felt like 2 years. Max's hands developed calluses from handling boxes. His back ached from lifting. His ego, already shattered, ground down to nothing under the daily weight of humiliation. Former colleagues saw him in the hallways. Some looked away quickly. Others made sure he noticed them noticing. The whispers never stopped. His weekly reports to Jordan became confessionals, raw, honest. Things he'd never admitted to anyone, barely admitted to himself. I thought money made me important. I thought my last name meant I deserved respect. I was entitled and blind, and I hurt the only person who ever really saw me. Jordan never responded beyond occasional one-word notes. Continue. Better. Once, simply, true. She never spoke to him directly. Then, 8 weeks after he started, she called him to her office. Max's heart hammered as he took the elevator up. He'd seen her dozens of times in passing, always from a distance, always with her not acknowledging his existence. Her assistant waved him in. Jordan sat behind her desk, backlit by floor-to-ceiling windows. She didn't look up from her laptop. "Sit." Max sat. She finished typing, closed the laptop, finally looked at him. "You've completed 2 months. You haven't quit. You haven't complained. You've been on time every day." Max said nothing. "Sears asks about you sometimes. The man from the cafe. He doesn't understand why you're always around now." Max's breath caught. "He remembers me. Children remember strangers who stare at them." Her voice stayed flat. "I told him you work for my company, nothing more. Jordan, I'm going to let you see him. 1 hour, at my house. Terrence will be present. You don't get to explain who you are. You don't get to play dad. You sit. You observe. If you cross any line I set, this ends permanently." "When?" "Saturday, 3 p.m. Don't be late." She opened her laptop again. Dismissal clear. Max stood to leave. "Max!" He turned back. It was the first time she'd said his name in months. "This isn't forgiveness. This isn't me softening. This is me allowing Sears to know his biological father exists. That's all. Don't mistake my mercy for weakness." "I won't. You broke me once. I won't let you break him. Ever." "I understand. I don't think you do, but you will." Saturday arrived cold and sharp. Max stood outside Jordan's brownstone at 2:55, his heart trying to escape his chest. The building was beautiful. Restored brick, flower boxes, the kind of home that spoke of stability and care, everything he should have given her. He rang the bell at exactly 3. Terrence answered. Up close, the man was even more imposing. Tall, athletic, kind eyes that currently held wariness. "Max." "Terrence, come in." The interior matched the exterior. Warm, lived in, photos on every surface, Sears at various ages, Jordan laughing, the two of them together, a family, complete without him. "Living room's through there. Jordan's getting Sears ready." Max walked into a space filled with books and plants and toys organized in bins. A life built with intention. Terrence didn't sit, stood with arms crossed, not aggressive, protective. "I want to be clear about something," Terrence said quietly. "I don't know your whole story with Jordan. That's between you two. But Sears is my priority. He's happy, stable, loved. If you're here to disrupt that, we're going to have problems." "I'm not here to disrupt anything." "Then why are you here?" Max met his eyes. "Because he's my biological son and I want him to know I exist, that I didn't abandon him by choice." "Didn't you, though?" The words landed hard. "I didn't know Jordan was pregnant." "But you left her. You blocked her calls. You moved countries without a word. So even if you didn't know about Sears specifically, you abandoned her, which means you abandoned the possibility of him." Max had no defense. "You're right." Terrence studied him. "Jordan says you've been working in her mailroom for 2 months. That true?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because she told me to. Because it's the only way she'll let me see him." "And you're okay being humiliated like that?" "I'm okay with whatever it takes." Something shifted in Terrence's expression. Not warmth exactly, maybe respect. "I'm adopting him next month. Judge already approved it. Legally, I'll be his father." "I know. And you're still here." "I'm still here." Before Terrence could respond, footsteps on the stairs. Jordan appeared holding Sears's hand. The boy wore a superhero shirt and jeans. His hair was freshly braided. He looked at Max with curious eyes. "Sears, this is Max. He works with Mommy. He wanted to meet you." Sears' face brightened. "You're the man from the cafe. I remember you." Max's throat closed. "Hi, Sears. Do you like superheroes? This is my favorite shirt. It's got all of them on it. It's a great shirt." Sears launched into a detailed explanation of each hero's powers. Max listened like it was the most important information he'd ever received. Jordan sat on the couch, watching. Terence stood nearby, present but not interfering. Max sat on the floor so he'd be at Sears's eye level, let the boy lead the conversation, answered questions, laughed at jokes, soaked in every second. Sears had his mannerisms, the way he tilted his head when thinking, the way his hands moved when excited. Pieces of Max in this perfect little person. The hour passed too fast. When Jordan said it was time, Sears pouted. Already? But we were having fun. Max has to go now. Maybe you'll see him again. Will I? Sears looked at Max hopefully. Max looked at Jordan. She gave the slightest nod. I hope so, buddy. Okay, bye, Max. Sears hugged him, just wrapped small arms around Max's waist and squeezed. Max froze, then slowly returned the embrace, terrified of breaking the moment. When Sears ran upstairs, Max stood slowly. His eyes burned. Thank you, he managed. Jordan's expression remained unreadable. Next month, same time, if you're still employed. I will be. Terence walked him to the door. On the step, the other man spoke quietly. You've got a good kid there. We all do. You're raising him right, I can see that. Yeah, we are. Terence paused. For what it's worth, that took guts. Coming here, sitting in that room, knowing your place. It's exactly where I deserve to be. Maybe, but most men wouldn't accept that. They'd fight, make demands. You just took what you were given and seemed grateful for it. I am grateful. Terence nodded. See you next month. Max walked home in a daze. That night he wrote his report. I learned that love means accepting whatever scraps you're offered and being thankful. I learned that my son is perfect and happy and doesn't need me to be whole. I learned that watching him hug me and knowing I don't deserve it is the best and worst feeling in the world. I learned that Terence is a better father than I could ever be, and I learned that I'll take 1 hour a month for the rest of my life if that's all I get. The next Monday, there was a note on his desk. You've been promoted. Report to 6th floor. Marketing assistant position. Still under my supervision. Don't make me regret this. J. Max stared at the note. A promotion, more money, better position, but still under Jordan's thumb. Still proving himself. He reported to the 6th floor and kept his head down and worked harder than he'd ever worked at anything. 3 more months passed. Monthly visits with Sears became the only thing Max lived for. Each time he sat on Jordan's floor and listened to his son talk about school and friends and his life. Each time Terence and Jordan watched. Each time Max left feeling full and empty simultaneously. Then Terence's adoption went through. Max saw the announcement on social media. Photo of Terence and Sears at the courthouse, both grinning. Caption, official, forever family. The comments were full of congratulations, love, support. Max stared at that photo for hours. His son now legally belonged to another man. He'd been erased. Completely. That Friday, Max submitted his report. I have no more rights, no legal claim, nothing, and I'm still here, still working, still hoping. I learned that loving someone means wanting what's best for them even when it destroys you. Terence is what's best for Sears, so I'm grateful, even though it kills me. Monday morning, Jordan called him to her office. She looked different, tired maybe, or conflicted. Terence proposed something. I want your input. Max waited. He thinks we should tell Sears who you are, that you're his biological father. He thinks honesty is important now that the adoption is finalized. What do you think? I think it's complicated. I think Sears is happy and this might confuse him. Then don't tell him. Jordan's eyes narrowed. You'd be okay with that? Being just Mum's friend Max forever? I'd be okay with whatever Sears needs. If he's happier not knowing, then I don't need him to know. You've changed. I've had to. She studied him for a long moment. We're telling him this weekend you'll be there. We'll explain it together. All 3 adults, united front. Okay. And Max? If you make this about you, if you try to compete with Terence, If you do anything that hurts my son, I will end you. Professionally, personally, completely. I understand. That Saturday was the longest of Max's life. They sat Sears down together, Jordan, Terence, and Max. Jordan explained gently. You know how some families have one dad and some have two mums. Some families are built different ways. You have Terence, who is your dad in every way, and you also have Max, who is your biological father. That means you came from him and from me. But Terence chose to be your dad. Does that make sense? Sears looked between the three adults, his young face processing complex information. So Max is like my other dad. Max is your biological father, Terence said carefully, but I'm your dad, the one who raises you and loves you and will always be here. Max he's someone who cares about you too. Why wasn't he here before? Max's heart stopped, Jordan answered. Because grown-ups make mistakes sometimes. Max made mistakes, big ones, and he's trying to fix them now. Sears looked at Max. Did you not want me? The question was a knife to the chest. I didn't know about you, Max said, his voice breaking. I wish I had. But I made choices that meant I wasn't there when you needed me. And I'm sorrier about that than anything in my whole life. But you're here now. I'm trying to be, if that's okay with you. Sears thought about it with the serious expression children get when they're trying to understand adult complications. Okay, but Terence is my real dad. Absolutely, Max said immediately. Terence is your real dad. Sears seemed satisfied. He went back to his toys like the conversation hadn't just rearranged Max's entire world. Jordan walked Max out. At the door, she spoke quietly. You handled that well. I meant it. Terence is his father. Yeah. She looked back at Terence playing with Sears. He is. Something in her voice made Max look at her closely. Are you okay? Don't. Don't what? Don't start caring about me. This isn't about us. It's about Sears. I never stopped caring about you. Jordan's jaw tightened. Leave, Max. He left, but he saw it, just for a second, the crack in her armor. She wasn't as unaffected as she pretended, and that changed everything. Chapter 6. The Crack. 6 months of mailroom floors and marketing reports had reshaped Max's body, leaner, harder. His hands were no longer soft. His clothes came from discount stores. His studio apartment stayed bare because furniture felt pointless. None of it mattered compared to seeing Sears. The visits had increased, every other week now. Sometimes Terence had work, and Max would stay with Sears while Jordan handled calls in her home office. Small moments, reading books, helping with homework, being present, never overstepping, always aware he was a guest in the life Terence built. At work, Max had proven himself valuable. He brought in a client through persistence, understanding their needs better than the senior staff. Jordan's boss noticed. We want to offer you a director position. Max sat across from the senior VP in a conference room that overlooked the city. The salary would change his life. Real apartment, savings, security. I need to think about it. What's to think about? You've earned this. I work under Jordan Shaw. I'd want her approval first. The VP's eyebrows rose. That's unusual. But fine. Talk to her. Max found Jordan in her office that evening. Most of the floor had cleared out. She was reviewing campaigns, making notes in the margins with quick slashes of red pen. They offered me director. She didn't look up. I know. I recommended you. You did? You're good at this. Better than you were at pretending to run a company built on your family name. She set down her pen, finally meeting his eyes. Take it. I wanted to make sure it wouldn't create problems. With Sears, with our arrangement. The arrangement is separate from work. You've proven you can handle both. Thank you. Don't thank me. You earned it. Max turned to leave. Max. He stopped. Why did you turn down Singapore? The question came from nowhere. How did you know about that? Word travels. Major offer. CEO position. You declined without negotiating. Max chose his words carefully. Because I have priorities here. Sears. Yes. Jordan's expression flickered, something he couldn't read. That's all? What else would there be? She looked away. Nothing. Forget I asked. But Max saw it again. That crack, like she wanted him to say something else. He left before he could make a mistake. The director position started the following month. Better office, better projects, respect from colleagues who'd mocked him in the mailroom. But the best thing was Terence's call on a Wednesday evening. Hey Max, got a question? Sure. I'm taking Sears camping this weekend, father-son thing. But he asked if you could come. Would that be weird? Max's heart stopped. He asked for me? Yeah. Said it would be fun if both his dads came. I told him I'd ask you. What does Jordan think? She said it's up to me, so I'm asking. Would it be weird for you? Max thought about it honestly. Spending a weekend watching Terence be the father Max wasn't. Seeing Sears run to him first, knowing his place. I'd love to come if you're sure. I'm sure. Pick you up Saturday morning. That weekend changed something fundamental. Max watched Terence teach Sears to build a fire. Watched him tell stories that made the boy laugh until his stomach hurt. Watched him be patient when Sears got scared of sounds in the dark, and Max helped, held the flashlight, roasted marshmallows, listened. Around the campfire, Sears fell asleep between them. Terence spoke quietly. Can I ask you something? Yeah. Do you regret it? Not being there from the start? Every single day. But you're here now. That counts for something. Does it? You're his father. I'm just the guy who provides genetic material and shows up sometimes. You sell yourself short. Sears talks about you, asks when he'll see you. He's building a relationship with you. Terence paused. I was adopted. Did you know that? No. I was 7. My biological father wasn't in the picture. My dad, the one who raised me, he always said family is choice, not blood. He chose me, and I'm choosing Sears. Terence looked at Max directly. But that doesn't mean you don't matter. It just means you have a different role. What role is that? The one you're creating. There's no script for this. We're figuring it out. Max felt something loosen in his chest. Thank you. For including me. For raising him. For being better than me. I'm not better. I just got the chance you didn't. They sat in comfortable silence, both watching Sears sleep. When they got back Sunday evening, Jordan was waiting. She looked between them, reading something in their faces. How was it? Great, Sears said, running to hug her. We saw deer and Max helped me catch a fish, but we let it go and Terence made the best s'mores ever. After Sears ran inside, Jordan looked at Max. He had fun. So did I. Terence said you were good, respectful. I meant what I said. I know my place. Something in Jordan's expression shifted. Do you? Because sometimes I wonder if you're just playing a role, waiting for the right moment to push for more. I'm not playing anything. This is who I am now. People don't change that much. Some people do, when they lose everything. Jordan studied him. I need to tell you something. Terence and I set a wedding date. The words hit like a physical blow. When? 3 months. Small ceremony. Close friends and family. Congratulations. You don't mean that. I mean that you deserve happiness. Terence is a good man. He loves you and Sears. That's what matters. Is it? Her voice carried an edge. Because you're standing here looking like I just shot you. How I feel doesn't matter. Doesn't it? Max held her gaze. What do you want me to say, Jordan? That I'm devastated. That I still love you. That watching you marry someone else will destroy me. Because all of that's true. But it doesn't change anything. You deserve this. And I'll be happy for you, because that's what you do when you love someone. You want good things for them even when it kills you. Jordan's breath caught. Don't what? Don't say you love me. You don't get to say that. Why not? It's true. It's always been true. You left me. I was an idiot who believed lies and made the worst decision of my life. I left you and I've regretted it every second since. But that doesn't mean I stopped loving you. Jordan's eyes shimmered. You think you can just say that? After everything? After I built a whole life without you? I'm not asking for anything, I'm just telling you the truth. The truth. She laughed bitterly. The truth is you're too late. I'm marrying Terence, I'm moving on, and you need to accept that. I do accept it. Then why are you looking at me like that? Like what? Like you still have hope? Max stepped back. I should go. Yeah, you should. But neither of them moved. The moment stretched, dangerous, charged. Terence opened the door. Jordan, Sears wants you. The spell broke. Jordan turned away. Coming. She went inside without looking back. Terence watched Max. You okay? Fine. You don't look fine. Jordan told me about the wedding. Congratulations. Thanks. Terence's expression was complicated. You still love her. It wasn't a question. Doesn't matter. She's marrying you. It matters. To you. To her. She made her choice. Did she? Terence ran a hand over his face. I need to tell you something. This marriage, it's not what you think. What do you mean? Jordan and I, we're compatible. We're partners. We parent well together. But we're not in love. Not the way she was with you. Max's world tilted. Then why are you getting married? Because Sears needs stability. Because being alone scared her. Because I offered safety and she took it. Terence's voice dropped. But safety isn't the same as passion. Partnership isn't the same as love. If you know that, why go through with it? Because I love her, even if she doesn't love me the same way. And I'm hoping that's enough. Terence looked away. But watching you two just now, I'm starting to think it might not be. Terence, I'm not stepping aside. I'm not that noble. But I needed you to know the truth. Whatever you do with it is up to you. He went back inside. Max stood on the sidewalk as the light faded, everything he thought he understood rearranging itself. Jordan was marrying Terence out of fear, not love, which meant there was still a chance. Or it meant Max was delusional, seeing hope where there was only his own desperate need. He walked home through darkening streets, Terence's words echoing. That night, he wrote his report. I learned that the right thing and the thing you want are sometimes the same. I learned that love doesn't die just because it's inconvenient. I learned that I might still have a chance, or I might be fooling myself. I don't know which terrifies me more. Friday morning, Jordan called him to her office. She looked like she hadn't slept. I got your report. I shouldn't have written that. It was unprofessional. It was honest. She stood behind her desk like it was a barrier. Terence told me what he said to you. He shouldn't have. Probably not, but he did. And now we need to clear the air. Jordan, I'm not calling off my wedding. I want you to understand that. Terence is good to me. He's stable. He won't leave. And that's what I need. Even if you don't love him. Love isn't always enough. You taught me that. The words were a knife. I'm not that person anymore. Maybe not, but I'm not the girl who believed in grand gestures either. I'm practical now, careful. And Terence represents everything you weren't. Meaning he chose me when I was pregnant and alone. He stayed when things got hard. He proved himself before I even knew I needed proof. Her voice cracked. You're proving yourself now, after everything's already broken, and I don't know if that counts. What would count? I don't know. The admission burst out of her. I don't know, Max. All I know is marrying Terence feels safe, and being around you feels dangerous. Dangerous how? She looked away. Like I might make the same mistake twice. Loving me wasn't a mistake. Yes, it was. It destroyed me. And I won't go through that again. Then marry him. Be safe. I'll step back. Whatever you need. Jordan's eyes snapped to his. Just like that? You'll walk away? If that's what you want. What I want doesn't matter anymore. It's the only thing that matters. They stared at each other across the desk. Jordan broke first. Get out. Jordan, get out before I do something stupid. Max left. That night, Sears called him. The boy had never called before. Max, are you coming to the wedding? Max's heart cracked. I don't know, buddy. I want you there. Mum said you might not come, but I want both my dads there. Sears, please? How do you say no to that? I'll be there. Promise? Promise. After he hung up, Max sat in his apartment and faced the truth. He'd watched Jordan marry another man. He'd smile for Sears. He'd pretend his heart wasn't being ripped out, because that's what you did when you loved someone. You showed up, even when it destroyed you. Chapter 7. The Twist. The wedding was 8 weeks away. Max threw himself into work with desperate focus. Anything to avoid thinking about Jordan in a white dress, Terence waiting at the altar, Sears as ring-bearer, cementing a family Max would never be part of. His campaign started winning awards. Clients specifically requested him. He became the success story everyone pointed to, the fallen CEO who rebuilt from nothing. It meant nothing. Jordan avoided him at work. Their interactions became purely professional, clipped emails, brief meetings with others present. She'd closed the door Max hadn't realized was cracking open. His visits with Sears continued, every other Saturday. But now, Jordan left the room entirely, letting Terence supervise, like she couldn't stand to be near Max, or couldn't trust herself around him. Max couldn't tell which. 6 weeks before the wedding, Vivian Holden had a massive heart attack. The hospital called Max as emergency contact. He hadn't spoken to his mother in over a year, hadn't thought about her beyond the occasional flash of anger. He went anyway. She looked small in the hospital bed, diminished. Machines beeped around her, tracking the life slowly draining away. Her eyes opened when he entered. You came. They called. I'm dying. I know. They sat in silence. Max felt nothing. Not forgiveness, not grief, just emptiness. I need to tell you something, Vivian said finally. Her voice was weak, stripped of its usual command. About Jordan, about what I did. I know what you did. You don't know all of it. She struggled to breathe. When she found out she was pregnant, she tried to tell you. Called your office 47 times. I had my assistant block every call. Max's hands clenched. She showed up at the office. I had security remove her. She sent letters. I destroyed them. She was desperate to reach you, Max. And I made sure you never knew. Why? Because she was beneath you. Because I'd already arranged your transfer to London. Because I needed you focused on the business, not distracted by some girl. She wasn't some girl. She was everything. I know that now. Vivian coughed, the sound wet and painful. I saw how you fell apart without her, how you turned into someone I didn't recognize. I thought I was saving you. I destroyed you instead. Yes, you did. I'm not asking for forgiveness. Good, because I don't have it. Vivian's eyes closed. I deserve that. But Max, there's something else. About the documents I had you sign, the parental rights termination. What about it? I forged some of it, mixed in real documents with fake ones. Your signature is real, but the intent was manufactured. You could challenge it in court, get your rights back. Max went very still. What? I kept copies, in my lawyer's safe, evidence of what I did. You could use it to claim paternity, legal standing. Why are you telling me this now? Because I'm dying, and I want to do one thing right before I go. She opened her eyes. Take her back. Fight for her. Don't let her marry someone else because she's scared. She's not scared. She's moved on. She's terrified. I had her investigated when you started working for her. She's marrying that man because he's safe, because he won't hurt her the way you did. But she doesn't love him. How do you know? Because I spent 30 years in a marriage without love. I know what it looks like. Vivian's breathing became labored. Take the documents, use them, get your son back legally, get her back. I can't do that to Terence. He loves them. And you don't. I love them enough to let them be happy. That's not love, that's cowardice. Max stood. You don't get to tell me what love is. You who destroyed mine, who controlled and manipulated and ruined everything good in my life. You're right. I don't. Vivian's monitor beeped faster. But I can tell you this. If you let her marry him without fighting, you'll regret it for the rest of your life. Some things are worth the risk. I learned that too late. I should go. Max. She grabbed his hand with surprising strength. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't matter. I know it's too late. But I'm sorry. Max looked at the woman who'd shaped his entire life, who'd twisted and controlled and broken him. I hope you find peace, he said quietly. But I can't give you absolution. He left. Vivian died 3 days later. Max didn't cry, didn't attend the funeral his mother's friends organized, didn't claim any of the estate she'd left him in a last-minute will change. He donated it all to single mothers organizations, posted the decision publicly, let the world see. The video went viral, comments flooded in. Some called him noble, others said he was grandstanding, most focused on the dramatic fall and rise of Max Holden. Jordan saw it. She called him Monday morning. My office, now. Max climbed to the 12th floor with his stomach in knots. Jordan stood at her window, back to the door. Why did you give away $300 million? Because it was blood money, from a woman who destroyed my life. Most people would have taken it, built something new. I'm not most people anymore. She turned. Her eyes were red. Had she been crying? Your mother called me, right before she died. Max's world stopped. What? She had her lawyer contact me, told me everything, what she did, how she manipulated you, how she forged documents. Jordan's voice shook. She said you didn't know, that you never knew about Sears, that she made sure of it. I tried to tell you that. I didn't believe you. I thought you were making excuses, but she had proof, documents, records, everything. Tears spilled down her cheeks. You really didn't know. All this time I thought you'd abandoned us by choice, but you didn't even know I was pregnant. Jordan, I wasted so much anger on you, so much hate, and you were innocent. I wasn't innocent. I still left you. I still believed my mother's lies instead of fighting for us. But you didn't know about Sears. No, I didn't. Jordan collapsed into her chair. Max had never seen her cry like this. Shoulders shaking, years of pain pouring out. He moved around the desk without thinking, knelt beside her chair. I'm sorry, she sobbed. I'm so sorry. I thought you were a monster. I wanted you to suffer, and you were suffering because of things you couldn't control. You had every right to hate me. But it wasn't fair. None of it was fair. Max took her hands carefully. Hey, look at me. She lifted her head. You did what you thought was right. You protected Sears. You built a life. You survived. None of that was wrong. But I hurt you. I made you work in a mailroom. I humiliated you. I used your love for Sears to control you. And I deserved it. Because even if I didn't know about Sears, I still failed you. I still left. Your mother... My mother was evil. But I was weak. I should have fought harder. Should have loved you enough to see through the lies. Jordan pulled her hands back. I can't marry Terence. Max's heart stopped. What? I can't. Not when I'm sitting here crying over you. Not when I just found out everything I believed was based on lies. She stood abruptly. I need to call off the wedding. Jordan, wait. What? Don't call it off because of this. Because of your mother's confession. Call it off because you don't love him. Or don't call it off at all if you do. I don't know what I feel anymore. Then figure it out. But don't make this decision right now, not like this. She stared at him. Why are you talking me out of this? Because I love you. And that means I want you to be sure. About everything. You're insane. Probably. You should be pushing for this, using this moment. I'm not that man anymore. I'm the man who wants you to choose me because you want to, not because you're emotional. Jordan's breath came fast. I need to think. Take all the time you need. She walked to the window, stood there for a long time. Max waited. Finally, she spoke without turning around. I'm postponing the wedding, not calling it off. Postponing. I need time to process this, to figure out what I actually want. Okay. And I need you to give me space. No visits with Sears for a while, no reports, no contact. Can you do that? It would kill him. But he nodded. Yes. How long? However long you need. She finally turned. You really have changed. I had to. I lost everything. And now? Now I'm trying to be someone worthy of you, whether I get you back or not. Jordan's eyes filled again. Leave, please. Max left. That afternoon, the office buzzed with news. Jordan Shaw had postponed her wedding. No explanation. Just called it off. Terence showed up at Max's apartment that night. Max opened the door to find the other man standing there, exhausted, hurt. She told you. Yeah. I'm sorry. Are you? Terence walked in without invitation. Because it looks like you're getting exactly what you wanted. I don't want you hurt. But you want her. Yes. Terence sat heavily on Max's second-hand couch. I knew this would happen. The second she told me about your mother's confession, I knew. She said she's postponing, not cancelling. Same thing. She's in love with you. Always has been. I was just the safe option. You're more than that. You're Sears' father. You're the man who was there. But I'm not the man she wants. Terence looked up. You know what the worst part is? I can't even hate you. You've been respectful, humble. You've accepted your place. You've done everything right. This isn't about right or wrong. No, it's about love. And she loves you, not me. What are you going to do? I'm going to give her space too. Let her figure it out. And if she chooses you, I'm going to step back gracefully, because I love her enough to want her happy. And Sears? Sears has two fathers now. That doesn't change no matter who Jordan chooses. Terence stood. But Max, if you hurt her again, if you break her heart, I won't be graceful about it. I will destroy you. Understood. Terence left. Max sat alone in his apartment and felt the weight of possibility. Jordan might choose him, or she might not. Either way, his life had just split open again. Chapter 8. The Reopening. 2 months of silence. Max kept his word. No contact, no reports, no showing up at places he knew Jordan frequented. Work became strange. She avoided him completely. Different floors, different meetings, different orbits. The office gossip was relentless. Everyone had theories about the postponed wedding. Most involved Max. He ignored it all. What he couldn't ignore was missing Sears. The boy called twice, confused about why Max hadn't visited. Max explained as best he could without blaming anyone. Your mom needs some time to think about grown-up stuff. It's not about you. But I miss you. I miss you too, buddy. So much. When can I see you? When your mom says it's okay. Terence still brought Sears to the park some Saturdays. Max watched from a distance, not approaching. Just wanted to see his son, make sure he was okay. One Saturday, Terence saw him lurking, walked over while Sears played. You're following us now? No, I needed to see him. Terence studied Max. You look terrible. Thanks. She's struggling too, if that helps. It doesn't. I want her happy. Even if happy means without you? Especially then. Terence shook his head. You're either the most selfless man I've ever met or the most self-destructive. Can't it be both? Despite himself, Terence smiled. Sears misses you. Asks about you constantly. I miss him too. You could fight this. Push for legal rights with the documents your mother left. Force visitation. I could, but I won't. Jordan needs control right now. After everything that was taken from her, she needs to be the one who decides. You're killing yourself with this patience. Better than killing her with my selfishness. Terence clapped Max's shoulder. For what it's worth, I think she's going to choose you. What makes you say that? Because she's miserable, and the only time I've seen her really alive in the past year was when she was fighting with you. Terence looked back at Sears. Love isn't always comfortable. Sometimes it's the thing that challenges you, changes you. She had comfortable with me. She needs challenged with you. When did you become so wise? When I realized I was in love with someone who was in love with someone else. Terence walked back to Sears, over his shoulder. Don't make me regret rooting for you. Week 9, Jordan's assistant called. Ms. Shaw wants to see you. Her house, tomorrow, 7 p.m. Max's heart hammered. Did she say why? No, just said to tell you to come. Max showed up at 6:55, stood outside her brownstone trying to calm his breathing. Terence answered the door. She's waiting. Sears is at my mum's for the night. Are you staying? No, this is between you two. Terence grabbed his coat. But Max, be honest with her. Completely honest. No more games, no more strategies. Just tell her the truth. I will. Good luck. Terence left. Max walked into the living room. Jordan sat on the couch, hands folded in her lap. She looked smaller somehow, vulnerable. Sit. Max sat across from her, not close, giving space. I've spent 2 months thinking, Jordan said, about us, about what happened, about what your mother did, about what I want. Max waited. I'm still angry, not at you specifically, at the situation, at the time we lost, at how unfair all of it was. You have every right to be angry, but I'm also tired of being angry, tired of being scared, tired of being safe. Jordan, let me finish. She took a breath. Terence is wonderful. He's stable and kind, and he loves Sears, but he's not you. And I've spent a year trying to convince myself that was enough. That safe was better than passionate, that comfortable was better than challenging. Was it? No. She finally looked at him. It was boring, and lonely, and wrong, because I was choosing him to avoid you, to avoid feeling the things you make me feel. What do I make you feel? Terrified, exhilarated, alive. Tears formed. When I'm around you, I'm not the controlled, successful woman I built myself into. I'm the girl who believed in grand gestures and second chances and love that conquers everything, and that girl got her heart broken. I know, but she's still in here, and she still loves you, even after everything. Max's world stopped spinning. I need to know something, Jordan continued, and I need you to be completely honest. Can you do that? Yes. If I gave you a real chance, would you leave again? When things got hard, when your life got complicated, when your next big opportunity came along, would you choose yourself over us? Max met her eyes. No, I wouldn't. Because I've learned what happens when I do. I lose everything that matters. You and Sears are what matters. Nothing else even comes close. How do I trust that? I don't know. I can't prove the future. I can only show you who I am now, and hope that's enough. You gave away $300 million. Because it was tainted, and because I don't need it. I have a job I'm good at, a life I'm proud of, and a son I love. Money doesn't mean anything compared to that. You worked in a mailroom for me. I'd do it again. I'd do worse. Whatever it took. Jordan stood, walked to the window. Max watched her silhouette against the city lights. I'm scared. So am I. What if we try this and it doesn't work? Then we'll deal with it, together, like adults who love each other enough to try. She turned. What if you hurt me again? Then you'll leave, and you should. But Jordan, I'm going to spend every day trying to make sure that never happens. You can't promise that. No, I can't. All I can promise is that I'll show up. I'll be honest. I'll fight for us instead of running, and I'll love you with everything I have for as long as you'll let me. Jordan crossed the room slowly, stopped in front of him. I'm not the same person you left. Good, neither am I. I have walls now and rules, and I don't trust easily. I'll be patient. I come with a child who has another father who you'll have to share with. I know, and I'll respect that. Always. This won't be easy. Nothing worth having ever is. She reached out, touched his face, the first time she'd touched him with gentleness in over a year. I'm choosing you, against my better judgment, against my fear. I'm choosing you. Max's breath left him. Are you sure? No, but I'm doing it anyway. He stood slowly. What do you need from me? Time, patience, honesty, and Max? Yeah? Don't make me regret this. I won't. I swear I won't. She stepped closer. They were inches apart now. Max could feel her heartbeat. Or maybe it was his. Can I kiss you? He whispered. You better. Their lips met, and the world exploded. Years of longing and pain and regret poured into that kiss. Max cradled her face like she was precious. Jordan gripped his shirt like she was drowning. When they finally broke apart, both were crying. I missed you, Jordan whispered. God, I missed you so much. I missed you too, every single day. They held each other, just held each other. Nothing sexual, just two people who'd been broken apart finally finding their way back. We should talk to Sears together, Jordan said eventually. Explain what's happening. What is happening? We're trying, dating, figuring it out. No promises beyond that. Okay, and we need to talk to Terrence. He deserves honesty. He knows. He told me he was rooting for me. Jordan pulled back. He what? He said he wanted you happy, even if that meant with me. He's too good. Yeah, he really is. They talked until sunrise, about expectations, boundaries, how to co-parent with Terrence, how to rebuild trust, how to move forward. When Max finally left, exhausted and exhilarated, Jordan kissed him at the door. This is real, he asked. This is real, and terrifying, and probably insane, but real. Max walked home through the early morning city. For the first time in years, hope felt real. Chapter 9. The Earning. They dated like strangers learning to trust. Dinners at quiet restaurants where Jordan tested him with questions about the past. Movies where Max kept his hands respectful. Long walks where they talked about everything except the future because the future terrified them both. Jordan set boundaries like walls. No sleepovers, no sex. Limited time with Sears until she was certain this wasn't temporary insanity. Max respected every single one. 4 months passed. Max proved himself in small ways. Showed up early. Listened more than he spoke. Never pushed, never demanded. Just existed in her orbit and tried to be worthy of the space she allowed him. At work he excelled, brought in clients through persistence and genuine care for their needs. His campaigns won awards. People who'd mocked him in the mailroom now sought his advice. The VP called him in. We're offering you vice president position. You've earned it. Max almost said no, worried it would complicate things with Jordan. She found out before he could tell her, cornered him in the hallway. Take it. It puts me above you organizationally. So, I can handle working under someone competent. Stop sabotaging yourself because you're scared of success. He took it. Their physical distance became harder. Every touch felt electric. Every goodbye left them both wanting more. But Jordan held firm. She needed to know this was real, not just chemistry. 6 months in, everything changed. They were at Max's apartment. He'd upgraded to a real place in Brooklyn, close enough to walk to her brownstone, still modest but clean, with actual furniture instead of a mattress on the floor. They just finished a movie, curled together on his couch, Jordan's head on his shoulder, Max's arm around her waist. Comfortable, safe. She turned to face him. "I'm ready." Max's heart stopped. "Ready for what?" "Don't make me say it." "Jordan, I'm ready. For you. For us. For everything I've been holding back." "Are you sure?" She kissed him instead of answering. Deep, desperate, years of restraint breaking. Max stood, lifting her with him, carried her to his bedroom, laid her on the bed like she was precious. They undressed slowly, revealing scars and vulnerability. When Max finally entered her, Jordan cried, not from pain but from the overwhelming rightness of it. They made love like drowning people finding air, frantic, emotional, healing. Afterward, tangled in sheets, Jordan traced his face. "I forgot how good we are together." "I never forgot, not for a second." She curled against him. "I love you. I tried so hard not to, but I do. I love you too. Always have." They fell asleep, wrapped around each other, both feeling like they'd finally come home. 3 weeks later, the offer came. Singapore CEO position. His old business partner had built something massive and wanted Max to run it. $10 million salary, full autonomy, 3-year contract. The email sat in Max's inbox for 6 hours. He didn't tell Jordan, didn't agonize, just hit reply and declined. Then he posted it publicly. "I've been offered an incredible opportunity in Singapore. I'm honored but declining. I have a family in New York, a son I'm getting to know, a woman I love, a life I'm proud of. No amount of money or power is worth losing that. Some lessons you only need to learn once." The post exploded across social media. Jordan saw it at work, stared at her screen, read it 3 times. She left her office, went straight to Max's. He was in a meeting. She didn't care. Walked in, ignored the other executives. "Excuse us." Everyone left. Jordan closed the door. "Singapore." "Not interested." $10 million, Max. "Doesn't matter. You didn't even ask me. Because there was nothing to discuss. You're here. Sears is here. My life is here." "What if I'd said go?" "You wouldn't have." "But what if I had?" Max stood, cross to her. "Then I still would have stayed. Because I'm not that man anymore, the one who chooses career over family. I'm done choosing wrong." Jordan's eyes filled. "You really mean that?" "Every word." She kissed him hard, poured everything into it. When they broke apart, both were shaking. "I forgive you," she whispered. Max froze. "What?" "I forgive you. For leaving. For the lost years. For everything. I forgive you." "Jordan, not because you've earned it, though you have, but because I'm tired of carrying the anger. I want to just love you." Max broke, actually collapsed against her, sobbing into her shoulder. All the guilt he'd carried for years poured out. Jordan held him, let him break, let him heal. When he finally pulled back, she was crying too. "Move in with me," she said. "You and me and Sears, a real family." "Are you serious?" "Completely. I want you there when I wake up. I want Sears to see what real love looks like. I want to stop being scared and just be happy." "When?" "This weekend. Unless you need time." "I've been ready since the day I saw you in that cafe." They told Sears together that Saturday. His reaction was simple joy. "Finally! Now Max can help me with my treehouse." Terence handled it with grace Max didn't deserve. "I'm happy for you. Just don't shut me out of Sears's life." "Never. Your family." Moving in felt surreal. Max's belongings fit in a few boxes. He'd learned to live with less, to need less. Everything that mattered fit in Jordan's brownstone. That first night in her bed, officially living together, Max held her close. "This is real," he whispered. "This is real." They made love slowly, sealing promises, building futures. 2 weeks later, Jordan woke him before dawn. "Max!" "Hmm? I need to tell you something." Her tone made him sit up. "What's wrong?" "I'm pregnant." The world stopped. What? 8 weeks. I just found out. Max's hands shook. Are you okay? Is Everything's fine. But Max, I'm terrified. What if this brings back? He kissed her. This is nothing like before. I'm here. I'm staying. We're doing this together. Promise. I promise. On everything I am, I promise. Jordan exhaled shakily. Okay. Sears appeared in the doorway, sleepy. What's happening? Jordan smiled through tears. Come here, baby. We have news. Sears climbed between them. What? You're going to be a big brother. His eyes went huge. Really? When? In about 7 months. That's so cool. Can it be a boy? I want a brother. They laughed, cried, held each other. That afternoon, Max did something he'd been planning for weeks. He took Jordan to the cafe where it all started, where he'd first seen her with Sears and Terence, where his old life had ended. They sat at the same table. Why are we here? Jordan asked. Max pulled out a small box, got down on one knee right there in the crowded cafe. Because this is where I found you again, where I realized what I'd lost, and I want to make it right. He opened the box. Simple ring, nothing extravagant. Jordan Shaw, will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life proving I'm worthy of you and our family? Jordan was crying. Yes. God, yes. He slid the ring on her finger, kissed her, while the cafe erupted in applause. They set a date fast, 3 months. Before Jordan started showing too much. Small ceremony, just people who mattered. The night before the wedding, Terence came by. Max met him on the stoop. Big day tomorrow, Terence said. Yeah. You nervous? Terrified. What if I mess this up? You won't. Terence clapped his shoulder. You've changed, Max. Really changed. She's lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have her. Take care of them, all of them. Always. They shook hands. More than that. Embraced. Brothers in the way that mattered. That night, Max lay awake beside Jordan. Tomorrow he'd marry the love of his life. Tomorrow everything would be official. Tomorrow he'd finally be whole. Chapter 10. The Surrender. The ceremony was perfect in its simplicity. Garden behind Jordan's brownstone. White chairs, string lights. 40 people who actually mattered. Sears walked Jordan down the aisle, proud in his tiny tuxedo. She didn't need anyone to give her away. She was choosing this, choosing Max. When she reached him, her smile destroyed and rebuilt him simultaneously. The officiant kept it brief. They'd written their own vows. Jordan went first. I choose you. Not because you're perfect, but because you became the man I needed. Because you fought for us when it would have been easier to walk away. Because you love our son like he's always been yours. I choose you, Max Holden, every day for the rest of my life. Max's voice shook. I lost you once because I was blind and stupid and didn't understand what mattered. I won't make that mistake again. You and Sears and this baby are my everything. I promise to show up, to fight for us, to love you with everything I have. I choose you, Jordan, today and always. They kissed as husband and wife. Sears cheered loudest, making everyone laugh. The reception was backyard barbecue, good food, better company. Terence gave a toast that had everyone in tears. Jordan's my family, always will be. And Max, you've proven yourself in ways most men never could. You worked for her love, earned it. That's rare. He raised his glass. To new beginnings and second chances. As the sun set, Max and Jordan slipped away. Sears was staying with Terence. They had the house to themselves. In their bedroom, Jordan turned to Max. We're really married. We really are. How does it feel? Like I can finally breathe. Like the last 6 years were just holding patterns until I could get back to you. She stepped close. Make love to me, as my husband. They undressed slowly, no rush, just reverence. Max worshipped her body, every curve, every mark, the slight swell of her belly where their daughter grew. He kissed his way down, making Jordan gasp and arch. When he finally entered her, their eyes locked. I love you, he whispered. I love you too, so much. They moved together, building heat, building connection. When Jordan came, she pulled him deeper, crying his name. Max followed, collapsing into her with a sound that was half sob, half prayer. They stayed tangled together as their breathing slowed. That was, Jordan started. Perfect, you're perfect. She laughed softly. We're good at this. At us. We always were. We just had to find our way back. They made love twice more that night, each time more intense, each time sealing the promises they'd made. The next morning, they picked up Sears. He ran to them, full of stories about his sleepover. Did you guys have fun? He asked innocently. Jordan blushed. Max laughed. Yeah, buddy, we had a great time. Life settled into beautiful rhythm. Work, family, growing together. The pregnancy progressed smoothly. They learned they were having a girl. Sears was thrilled. I'll protect her, like Dad protects Mom. Every time Sears called him Dad, Max's heart expanded. 7 months after the wedding, their daughter arrived. Fast labor, intense. Jordan gripped Max's hand hard enough to bruise. When the baby emerged screaming and perfect, Max cut the cord with shaking hands. She's beautiful, he breathed. She's ours, Jordan said through tears. They named her Hope, because that's what she represented. Sears held his sister with careful wonder. Hi, Hope. I'm your big brother. I'll teach you everything. Terence visited that evening, brought flowers, held the baby and smiled genuinely. You've got a beautiful family. We do, Max agreed. And you're part of it. That night, with Jordan sleeping and Hope in his arms, Max felt peace settle into his bones. This was his life. Not power or money or prestige. This. A wife who challenged him, a son who loved him, a daughter who depended on him. Everything that mattered. He thought about the man he'd been, the entitled CEO who measured worth in dollars and status. That man was dead. In his place was someone better, someone earned through humiliation and patience and unconditional love. I'm going to do right by you, he whispered to Hope. I promise. Jordan woke, watched them. Come to bed. Max placed Hope in her bassinet carefully, climbed into the narrow hospital bed with his wife. Thank you, he said, for everything, for forgiving me this family. Thank you for becoming someone worth forgiving. They fell asleep, tangled together. 3 years later, Max stood in their expanded brownstone's backyard. They'd bought the building next door, made space for their growing family. Sears was 10, teaching Hope to kick a soccer ball. Jordan was 8 months pregnant with their second child together, a boy this time. Terence stood at the grill, arguing with Max about barbecue technique. Still family, still present, still important. Friends and family filled the yard. Laughter, love, life. This was what Max had destroyed and rebuilt. Better than before because it was chosen, earned, real. Jordan found him, wrapped her arms around him from behind. What are you thinking? That I'm the luckiest man alive? Not luck. You fought for this. We both did. She kissed his shoulder. The baby's kicking. Feel. Max placed his hand on her belly, felt life moving beneath. Sears ran over, breathless. Dad, Hope scored. Her first goal. Max grinned, jogged to his daughter, scooped her up and spun her around. That's my girl, Hope giggled. Like you, Daddy. Better than me. As evening fell and the party wound down, Max and Jordan stood together watching their children play. Are you happy? She asked. He pulled her close. Every single day with you is more than I deserve. You deserve this, all of it. Then I'll just say I'm grateful. For you, for them, for this life we built. That night, after the kids were asleep, they lay in bed together. Tell me something, Jordan said. Do you ever regret how it happened? All the pain we went through? Max considered it honestly. I regret the time we lost, but that pain made me who I am. It taught me what matters. So no, I don't regret the journey, just the years we missed. I feel the same. She shifted, getting comfortable against him. Max. Yeah? I'm really proud of you, of the man you became. That means everything. She kissed him softly. Thank you for never giving up on us. Thank you for letting me earn my way back. They made love slowly, tenderly, with the ease of two people who knew each other completely. Afterward, Jordan fell asleep in his arms. Max stayed awake longer, listening to his house settle, his wife breathing beside him, his children sleeping down the hall, his life solid and real and earned. He thought about the cafe, about seeing Jordan with another man and feeling his world end, about the descent into nothing, about crawling back up from rock bottom, one humiliating step at a time. That journey had nearly destroyed him. It had also saved him. Because this life, this family, this love was built on truth, on effort, on becoming worthy, not luck or privilege or entitlement, choice, work, love. Max closed his eyes and pulled his wife closer. He'd been broken, rebuilt, forgiven, and now he was exactly where he belonged, with the woman who'd made him earn her, with the family who'd given him purpose, with the life he'd fought for. Finally, completely, undeniably, home. The end.